I've been covering the 2020 Digimon Adventure reboot every Sunday since the spring of last year, all the way up until now in July 2021 on my main channel, but you know, it isn't the only anime I watch, and today I thought I would go through 10 anime from 2021 that I watched and share sort of abridged opinions on them to let you know what my tastes outside of Digimon are. I don't think of myself as a hot take machine, but I will warn you that I have two spicy takes for 2 of the 10 shows I'm covering today. Do I think Attack on Titan is trash? Do I think Promised Neverland Season 2 is actually extremely good? Do I secretly hate the Digimon reboot? Well, keep watching to find out, I guess. Alright, here we go. I think I'll go roughly in the order of release, and by that logic, I'll start with the show that actually premiered in fall 2020 but finished in March, and that is the Inuyasha sequel series, Yashahime. This is a series that I was extremely hyped for when the brilliant character designs were first shown and the show was announced. I feel for my generation, Inuyasha was one of the first anime we experienced that let us know anime wasn't just for kids. It was violent, dark, romantic, scary. I'm pretty sure Evangelion or Cowboy Bebop fulfilled that role for Americans who had Adult Swim / Toonami, but for my Canadians out there, Inuyasha was on around 9 or 10 p.m. every Friday on YTV, and it was definitely a show that you felt like, I shouldn't be watching this, I'm not old enough. So Yashahime came out, and it's okay. I don't think it's bad, but what I'll say is all of my friends who were ridiculously hyped for an Inuyasha reboot, they all dropped it around episode 5 or 6, and I myself dropped it for multiple months until it finished and I could binge it. The new character designs are brilliant, like I said, especially Moroha, in my opinion. I absolutely love and respect that the series focused on female characters and female bonds, you know, sisters, friendships, and it doesn't overly sexualize the main characters. Toa's school uniform being a suit doesn't sound like a big deal on paper, but it's extremely cool to me that a main female protagonist isn't just bumbling around in a schoolgirl uniform. Unfortunately, I felt like that mystery element about what happened to the parents fell flat and went on far too long. I feel like mysteries in these types of stories, when you're removing central characters that we care about, are very dangerous when 1, you have a huge fandom, and 2, you take your time with the mystery, which results in those big fandoms having nothing to do but run wild with speculation and fan theories in between episodes. So then when the truth of the mystery does finally appear and it's not exactly what the fans thought was going to happen, they're mega disappointed and frustrated with the show. It's not even really fair, but it's what happened with Digimon Tri. It happened, in my opinion, with the end of the Attack on Titan manga, no spoilers, and I believe it happened here with Yashahime. But overall, I will be tuning into Season 2 as I enjoyed stepping back into the Inuyasha-verse version of feudal Japan to experience the music, visuals, and characters again. Promised Neverland Season 2. There isn't much to be said about this show other than that Season 2 was actually heartbreaking. Season 1 was perhaps one of the best one-off seasons of anime I've ever seen, with a truly creepy mansion setting, brilliant antagonists, and fascinating characters to follow, and again, a semi-rare but super strong female lead in a Shonen Jump story with Emma. But Season 2 just blitzed through the manga content from what I've been told, skipping over entire arcs, taking liberties with the plot, telling more than showing almost all the time. The stuff they did with Norman was just laughable in my opinion, and the fact that we didn't even meet the true series villain until the second last episode, only to have him immediately defeated, it was baffling. I wish there was someone like Jason Schreier who writes these long-form What Happened to Game X exposés in the video game industry, but for anime, because I need to know what happened to the Promised Neverland Season 2. Maybe we'll find out one day. It could be that they were told they were only going to get 12 more episodes no matter what, and they decided rather than adapt the story and leave it unfinished that they would just speedrun the manga. I also heard manga readers say that the first arc / season is by far the best, and it was always going to go downhill after Season 1, so who really knows what happened, but yeah, super disappointing. Attack on Titan Season 4 Part 1. I am actually of the opinion that Attack on Titan is not just one of the best anime series, but probably one of the best television series or even just stories that I've personally ever heard. I don't know how much crossover interest there is with my audience, but I think everyone should watch AOT. And if you tried it and you thought the first season was all style, no substance or something, I'd honestly agree with you. I think Season 1 is the worst season by a landslide, because while it's very pretty and adrenaline pumping, it's Season 2 onwards where the plot takes over and it becomes this unbelievably smart, engaging, and tragic political thriller that has made me think more than any other anime. Season 4 is an exercise in empathy, letting you see the world from another perspective as we shift to another group's point of view for the first half of the season before returning to the view of the main characters from the first 3 seasons, and it's honestly impossible to look at those characters the same way after the events of Season 4. Attack on Titan Season 4's story was brilliant, heartbreaking, and it had me screaming at the TV every Sunday when the episode would end because I just wanted to watch the next episode, but I had to wait a week. It's probably the best anime I watched in 2021, although there is one other anime on this list that I'm obsessed with that I think is also a 10 out of 10, and we'll get to that soon. Jujutsu Kaisen. So is this the anime that is up there besides Attack on Titan for me? Everyone loves Jujutsu Kaisen, right? They love Gojo, so this is the show that I loved, right? Actually, no. This is spicy take number 1. I don't understand the universal praise for Jujutsu Kaisen. It's good, but I don't think it's much more than good. I watched every episode for over 20 weeks, waiting for the big thing besides the fight choreography that was supposed to make me fall in love with it. It's just that so many shonen action series have done this exact same formula. I couldn't believe it. Teen possessed with an ancient spirit enrolls in an academy for other gifted youngsters, befriends an edgy boy and tough but cute girl, has an upperclassman with a cool eyeball. We have a tournament arc / training exam that is interrupted by villains. I heard the Trash Taste crew talk about how God of High School was kind of all style, no substance, and that's why they didn't vibe with it, but that's actually how I felt about Jujutsu Kaisen. I kind of actually like God of High School more in 2020 because the absurd premise of, the whole thing is one long tournament arc. It's goofy, but at least it was unique and kind of subversive, where I just thought Jujutsu Kaisen was another one of those, like Naruto, Blue Exorcist, Tokyo Ghoul, My Hero. It wasn't like One Punch Man that was kind of satirizing or flipping tropes on their head. It just was one of those. Maybe I've just seen too many anime of these types and I just want more original premise these days. And speaking of original premises, I don't think you have a more original premise in the current Shonen Jump lineup than Dr. Stone, a series about rebuilding society with the magical anime power of math and science. That sounds super boring, but this show is just a joy every week. I know it's a weird comparison, but I haven't felt this pure infatuation with an anime and its world since watching the original Dragon Ball, not Z, like Kid Goku Dragon Ball. Every episode makes me smile, laugh, feel for our characters, and honestly just marvel at the wonder of technology and the power of the human race, like our willingness to survive. It sounds so cheesy, but yeah, whereas Attack on Titan made me lose faith in humanity, Dr. Stone makes me a stand for humanity and all of its achievements. Dr. Stone Season 1 and 2021 Season 2 Stone Wars are the second series on my list besides AOT that I'd give a 10 out of 10 to. Can't say enough good things about it. My Hero Academia Season 5. I'm not gonna lie, I was severely worried about Season 5 when I saw the marketing for the 1A versus 1B training arc, and I feel like unfortunately my worries came true. Now, I should state that currently I'm pretty hyped for the second half of the season, which is looking promising and plot heavy, but the first half we got this super long training arc that felt really inconsequential if you remove the thing that happened at the very end. What I loved about early My Hero was that it respected our time. I thought the sports festival tournament arc in Season 2 was one of the best tournament arcs I've ever seen because the pacing was perfect, the fights that weren't essential took 10 minutes or less, and they squeezed multiple bouts into one episode, and then even the essential fights were only one episode long, but they still felt super rewarding. Here, with the 1A versus 1B stuff, we got like multiple episodes of fights between Yaoyorozu and Kendo. Maybe those are like your favorite characters and I've upset someone listening, but yeah, I was extremely disappointed knowing that we had 10 plus weeks to look forward to basically nothing happening. I hope that by the time Season 5 ends, I can look back and make another video where I talk about how great the second half was, but time will have to tell. So far, not a big fan of Season 5. Shaman King. This is another series I've actually made a couple of videos on, and we'll probably make some more when the series hits international Netflix in August. This is a reboot of a series that was on air around the same time as Digimon, so I have a soft spot for it and thoroughly enjoy what I've seen so far. It's doing a bit of the Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood thing where the original series had to go anime original in light of the fact the manga wasn't done yet, but now the Shaman King manga is long finished, so the series will be more faithful. Unfortunately, it means the first handful of episodes are almost identical to the original show, but even then it's almost a nice deja vu, like when you're an adult visiting a city or a place you have these vague memories of seeing as a kid. Ultimately, I can't wait for when it deviates from the original show, as I haven't read the manga and I'm choosing to experience it through the new anime, but I've heard that the manga is actually quite fantastic. Check out my other videos explaining everything Shaman King if you haven't already. Skate the Infinity is a series that really worked for me. I love Haikyuu, but I haven't really gotten into too many other sports anime because I feel like I need to really like the sport that it's about. So a skateboarding anime felt like grown-up rocket power to me, and I checked it out. The little twist at the end of episode 1 is that one of our main characters, who is new to skateboarding, is actually really good at it, and it's because he's a professional snowboarder from Canada. That really struck me as a pretty clever premise, and we go on this great little journey seeing him be naturally gifted because of his snowboarding background, but having to learn skateboarding moves and culture to get to the next level. Overall, really cool and original sports anime that I'm glad I checked out. Demon Slayer Mugen Train, the movie. Okay, it's time for another hot take, I guess. Demon Slayer Mugen Train is good. I'm not denying that, but I truly felt like it was a manga arc animated and not a film. And I know that sounds ridiculous. I know that's exactly what it is, but the structure of this movie is so weird. The central plot about overcoming their dreams is resolved in about an hour. I thought that the movie was about to wrap up, and I remember pausing and realizing that there was an hour more and having no idea how that made any sense. Then we go to the second part, which is okay, but I thought the CG was really bad. And this isn't me just hating all CG in anime, because I actually thought AOT Season 4 CG was actually really good, but these squid tentacle things that come out of the train, they just took me out of the experience so badly because they were truly like PS2 graphics on top of some of the best 2D animation I've ever seen. It was just a heartbreaker because this movie was the best looking anime movie I'd ever seen until the second act when the 3D fest started up. Then the third part was arguably the best looking and the most hype, but I just couldn't get reinvested because the enemy in that third part comes out of nowhere. The hero in this fight was hardly in the movie, and just the pacing had thrown me off so bad with the movie having 2 previous endings that even though I enjoyed the battle, I was ready for the credits. I don't know, I think it's cool that they adapted an entire arc to make an anime movie fully canon, and I think it's sweet that season 2 of Demon Slayer will pick up after the events of Mugen Train, but after the year plus of people praising this movie and me having no warning about the pacing or the 3D tentacle stuff, I just left the movie thinking this was what everyone was so excited about. It was good, not great. I don't know, throw me in anime jail. And last but not least, the final show I'll talk about in this video is Yasuke, which is the 3rd MAPPA production on this list, just showing how big of a splash MAPPA has made on anime culture in 2020 and 2021. This is truly an international anime with writing, direction, and music coming from outside of Japan. It's a hyper fantasized take on the true story of Japan's black samurai Yasuke, who is voiced by the incredibly talented Lakeith Stanfield. This guy is honestly one of my favorite actors in the industry right now, and seeing him lead in an anime is just terrific. Best of all, Yasuke is only 6 episodes on Netflix, so it's super easy to watch and super stylish. I really recommend this. So there you go. Those are 10 of the anime that I watched in 2021 that I thought it would be fun to talk about and share my opinions. Hopefully you don't suddenly hate me now and don't want to unsubscribe because of my thoughts on Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer. I like them, but I don't think any of them go above 7 out of 10, but for some reason they're both being treated like 11 out of 10, and I just don't fully understand. What other anime did you watch this year that you think I'd like based on my list? Comment your thoughts on the shows I mentioned or anything else you want to say. Subscribe if you haven't already. Take care, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video.